In this video, we will be discussing how to run an MD800 through the Ethernet IP communication. In order to do this, you will need the SIEN expansion card that is available to be purchased separately. Additionally, you will also need a PLC to control and program the drive. In this case, we will be using the Inovance EZ523 PLC and programming it through the AutoShop program. The first step will be installing the expansion card using a flathead screwdriver. Remove one of the expansion panels located on the left side of the power supply unit by gently applying pressure to the middle of the slot. Once removed, we can slide in our SIEN expansion card until it clicks into place. After installing the card and powering our drive, we can begin configuring our drive. The first steps are configuring our motor parameters, which we have discussed in our quick start guide. Please review that video up until motor tuning before returning to this video and continuing with the setup. After tuning the motor, we will begin configuring our control mode. Going back to the F0 field, we will start with field F0-01. This is the motor control mode, which is voltage over frequency control by default. For this case, we will keep this in the default setting. F0-02 is our command source, which we will set the value to 2 for communication. The next field, F0-03, is used to set the frequency source, which we will set to 9 to also control via communication. Finally, we will need to set the maximum output frequency from the AC drive in the field F0-10. For this example, we will set it to 60 Hz. But ensure that you set it according to your own application needs. The same applies for F0-12, which is the maximum running frequency of the motor. Repeat these steps for each applicable axis. Quick reminder that you are able to use different control methods for any number of axes. The final step for configuration, programmed on the power supply fields. Press the axis button until the green number shows 0, representing the power supply unit fields. Navigating to the programming screen, we will go up to the FD field and enter into the field, FD-10. This value controls the communication type, and we will set this to 3, so it utilizes the communication card. Next, we will back out and navigate up to the AD field and press enter. The first field, AD-00, is used to set the DHCP. By default, this field should be 0 for disabled DHCP, and this is where we want to keep it. The next fields, AD-01 to AD-04, is used to set the IP address. Each different field will cover one of the octets of the IP address. In this example, we will be setting the device IP address to 192.168.3.5. Accordingly, AD-01 will be 192, AD-02 will be 168, AD-03 will be 3, and AD-04 will be 5. The next group of fields will be fields AD-05 to AD-08, which is the subnet mask. For our example, we are setting this to 255.255.255.0. Same as the previous group, each individual field will cover each octet of the subnet. Finally, the last group consists of AD-09 to AD-12. This group is used to set the device's network gateway if applicable. For our case, we do not have one, so we will leave it as 0.0.0.0. However, if you do need to set one, it will be set in the same manner where each field covers one octet of the gateway. Once this is done, you will need to cycle the power to apply the network settings. The final step is to program the device using your controller. As previously mentioned, we will be utilizing the EZ523 PLC and the AutoShop program to control the MD800. The AutoShop program can be downloaded for free from the Inovance website as well as from our own website. We have started a new project file and are already connected to our PLC. The first step is to add the device EDS file into the program. The device EDS file is available to be downloaded from the Inovance website, which will be linked below. Adding it will be done under the toolbox on the right-hand side where we right-click on Ethernet/IP devices, import EDS, and select the appropriate file. Now we can add our device to our project. Under the Project Manager, right-click on the Ethernet IP tab and click on Auto-Scan. Doing so will bring up a window at which point we can press Start Scan. After a couple of seconds, the window should display all of our connected Ethernet devices. Clicking on Update Config will add all of the selected devices to our project. The next step is to configure our drive to match our physical drive layout. Start by double-clicking on our MD800 device under the Ethernet IP tab to open the device page and click on the Connections tab. Under the connection table, we will click on the first option and modify it to match the amount of axes we are using in real life. Finally, we will navigate down to the Ethernet IPIO mapping tab and click on it. Here, we can view all of our devices' variables and their descriptions. We can see that the rectifier and each axis has available input data variables to monitor and variables that output to the drive to control it. For basic operation, we will mostly focus on code that will send and receive movement data to and from the output axes. This table, which can be found in the manual, can tell us the data we are able to send to the drive and the expected behavior of the drive. Additionally, we can monitor the input data from each axis and the rectifier to ensure the device is behaving as expected, and can troubleshoot easily in case of any faults or issues. As you can see, whenever we modify the output values, we can observe changes in the drive behavior. We can also track and monitor changes to the input values as the state of the drive continues to change. This has been a guide to configure the MD800 inverter drive with Ethernet/IP communications. Please check out the other videos on our channel for more ways to set up the drive or help setting up other Inovance devices.